So we're here in the Zenith CH 750 Cruzer. I'm Sebastian.
I'm Roger, guys.
And this is our first flight of the year. Well, the first recorded flight of the year, I suppose.
It's actually my first of the year. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I beat you to it then, huh?
Some of it's got to work, you know.
I didn't realize you were mainly a desk job now, Roger. you know, you're going to lose your distinction as being the highest time and most experienced factory demo pilot. How many years has it been?
Actually, end of the month will be 33 years.
33, yeah. This is going to be our 34th year. That's a long time, But it's certainly a pleasure to be back here, 2026, and looking forward to another year. And this is going to be our first flight of the year, so we look forward to sharing that. I'm going to listen here on the AWAS.
Zulu, weather, wind 280 at 5, visibility 10, ceiling 1,200, overcast, temperature 6 Celsius, dew point 3, altimeter 3011.
All right, we're going to do a run up here. We got the UL Power 350i, 118 horse, so we'll run it up to 1600, check each mission. For very little drop, we'll just let it sit there for a second on each side, go back to both, left, so clear and free, doors locked secure, fuel, we just got fuel, it's on the left tank, fullest, and my go on and off is on. Now we're just going to let it warm up, the oil at least let it get up to the green.
Just a little bit. It was hanger, so it's not. We don't have to wait too long, but it's always nice. There we go already.
We got the Dynon SkyView system, which I really like, and single the wide stick, and basic Garmin radio, and center console, the bubble doors.
Yep.
Got the throttle over here, and I got the flap switch trim right beside the throttle, which I like because I always have my hand on the throttle, and I can adjust the flaps and trim very easily.
Yeah, it's a nice setup.
Yeah. All right, we're going to do just a normal takeoff, and I'll have the stick back about just a little bit past the neutral setting, and then ease in the power. The nose comes off, rotate, and then we'll be in the air.
And this is the Cruzer airplane, so it's obviously not the STOL. It won't jump off the ground, but you'll see nice cool air. They said 6 degrees Celsius, so a nice cool weather. Not hot, not cold.
Oh, stick get past these runway lights because they're the big lights for the 5-inch wheels. They'll bounce you around, so we'll ease in the power. Add a little bit of right rudder too for P factor. Nose comes up, then I'll adjust the stick just a little bit, and then ease in the rest of the power. Because it does take off very quickly. That way you can gradually. It's not like your old 172 where you're waiting. And you know, if you want, you got VX, VY. You know, you can always set those up to fly. But I like to fly where I can see over the nose, see birds, traffic. Because I'm still getting, right now, I'm getting 900 to 1,000 feet a minute climb.
Wow, that's impressive for, especially, again, you're not pulled right up. You know, we're showing 70 mile an hour airspeed on it, so it's pretty good.
Not even on VXVY.
No, exactly.
I'm going to check my new cabin heat adjustment.
We actually have some sun out today. I don't know what they said the ceilings were, 1,200 feet. We may be able to get on top there if you want. There's some nice holes over there.
Yeah.
No? I know you like to fly low.
I like it.
And so I feel, we got the cabin heat on, so it's nice. And I know I forgot my jacket, and it turns out I really don't need it, so it's kind of nice to...
Well, I hooked up a little, a NACA scoop to get a little bit more forced air, and by God, that, it seems like it's working very well. A little bit more heat, it seems like.
Yeah, just a nice day, and it kind of doesn't look very wintry in the sense not much snow or ice, but that's okay too. I think as we get older, when I look back on it, you know, we used to like the snowfall, getting the planes out, playing in the snow, and so forth, and I've got quite a few videos from that. Now, I know last few times when it snows, we kind of just huddle in and looking for excuses not to get out. Maybe that's just a sign of our age, I think. And certainly not a sign of the limitations on these airplanes, because I love when customers send snow flying pictures, you know, on ice. I know we had one customer just send us an ice lake landing from Minnesota. Nice to see that. It's always fun to watch. So here we are already, January 2026. Lots going on. You know, at Zenith we continue to stay busy, you know, building the kits, sharing information with builders of how to build, and I know you're busy on the phone a lot, working with customers, helping new customers get acclimated to building their own airplane. So it's a good start to the new year, and I know in the winter months that's usually the best months to actually be building.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
You know, you're indoors and not as much fun outdoors, I guess, depending where you are. Although I always say, you know, winter flying is good flying too. Again, like we're mentioning, performance is always good on these airplanes, and it's good just to get outside and get out of the homes and to enjoy the flying side. We've got workshops scheduled, and we actually have a few extra workshops coming up, or at least one extra one. You know, we try to have one workshop per month, and this year we're adding a couple on the road as well. You know, we've been doing the Texas workshop for a number of years. We love going down to Boerne, Texas every year. Well, it's been becoming an annual thing. And then this year we decided to add one in Arizona, and we're going to be doing that end of February into March, and that's all the way to Yuma, Arizona, which turns out that's nearly to California, nearly to Texas too, or not Texas, Mexico. Right. Mexico, the country, not Mexico, Missouri, and I'm grateful. Neither of us are having to do the drive. We're forcing that onto Calvin. He's the young guy, so we can send him out to do these longer drives, I think. And so we have, I've got a little list here, January 22nd and 23rd, that's going to be a factory workshop here at the factory in central Missouri. We still have a few spots for that, so certainly invite guys to come out for that if they can. And of course, being the factory workshop, we tour the factory at the same time, go up for a demo flight with Roger. So you really get the good workshop experience, and if you're looking at getting started in 2026, the earlier you get started, the sooner you'll get done. And you know, for most customers, how long would you say it takes most customers to build an airplane from start to finish? I mean, typically, you know, it's a year and a half to 2 years, maybe longer if they're working, because it does. It just, you know, it's not hard to build. It doesn't take long, but it just does. You'll find yourself, you know, a month you won't work on it because you got other family activities and stuff. Right. So it's about a year and a half time they get started and finished. So year and a half, yeah. And I would agree with that. And like you say, there's plenty that take longer, and then we get plenty that finish in a year. Like I've got several customers, they work on it 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and in 4 to 5 months they're basically done. But you got to plan everything. You got to know your engine, you got to know your instruments, you got everything. Right. Yeah. So it becomes it's definitely doable. Yep. And then again, for a lot of customers that really enjoy and savor the build process, they're not in a rush to do it. So it can become sometimes, you know, to a fault, it becomes too long. You got to tell them, you know, time to finish up your airplane. But very, very doable. And then in February 19th and 20th, we have another factory workshop. Awesome. And then the following week, we have, that's when we head out, take the cargo van, the Zenith cargo van to Yuma, Arizona. And that's going to be the 28th of February. And then, of course, February is the short month, and then into 1st of March. And kind of like we've done the other workshops when we go on the road, we do the actual hands-on part of it, and then we'll have kind of a Zenith builder gathering the following day. Right. And so if you're in the in the Arizona, Southern California area, come out and join us. If you're a builder already, or especially if you're flying, fly out your airplane, show your Zenith to us as well as additional as a new people. It's always great to see that, and it's always a good way to look at these different airplanes and to swap ideas, look at different engines and so forth. And so we'll be doing that the 1st of March. That's going to be the Sunday in Yuma. And then Calvin's going to take the van, drive the van over during the week to Boerne, Texas. And Boerne, Texas, that's southwest Texas by San Antonio.
Right.
Beautiful area. Boerne's a nice, they have a nice Boerne Stage Airfield, a nice little airport. It's actually a privately owned airport there in Boerne. And we've got great hosts, Bill Fahey and Jamie and so great host there, and we've been doing that. I think this will be our 6th or 7th year, so we always like to come out for that. And those workshops usually fill up pretty early, so if you're available and interested, it's highly encourage you to join us there, but sign up relatively early so that we have the time to do that. And because we're taking the cargo van on the road, we'll be also able to deliver some parts, kit assemblies, and so forth. So if you haven't got started yet and just thinking about doing it, there's still a chance we can put a tail kit, maybe even a full wing or fuselage kit in there for you. Give us a call and we'll try to get what you need to have everything you need to get started, so we can deliver kits along the way.
And even if you're thinking about building, you're always welcome to come down and watch the guys building the rudder too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always fun way to get together, and I know on the Sunday or the last day when we kind of have the gathering, we also kind of like to have some programs to put some programs together. We've had some DARs talking about getting ready for inspections and interesting talks like that. I know our friends from Viking, they always come out to Boerne and then they'll talk about the engines a little bit and things like that. And talking about Viking aircraft engines, those are the Honda conversions, well, I guess GM engines also, the auto conversions. They also have their engine seminar or workshop day coming up Saturday, February 7th, and that's at their factory in Edgewater, Florida. And I know mostly those are Zenith guys. I've gone there a number of times in past years, and it's always enjoyable for me because I meet up with so many Zenith builders and flyers down there as well. And so that's a good opportunity to learn more about alternative engines. I know, Jan and Alyssa do a good job of going over all what they do with those engines. And then I know other engine companies as well. I know UL Power, Jabiru, they've also put on engine days at their factories where they tear down an engine, show you more about how these engines are put together. And it's a great way to again to learn more about what's available and see how you can get involved. I know Corvair engines, a lot of folks build those engines up. Right. And with William Wynn, they do a lot of classes or seminars, things like that. I saw online just the other day there was Aero Sport, the company that manufactures the engine for that we have in our Super Duty. They also do classes or people assemble the engines. And that's, again, a great way for you to get involved. Sometimes you save a little bit of money by assembling your own engine, but also you learn a lot about it, because if you can assemble it, you can maintain it a lot better. So that's always something that we encourage builders to get involved with.
Just a beautiful day out to fly in 2026.
It sure is. It like I say, we got a lot of green. I guess that's what is that, spring wheat?
It is.
We see winter wheat. See a lot of green out there, which is kind of surprising this time of the year. But it is a beautiful day, isn't it, to be flying, and nice and low flying is enjoyable and surprisingly smooth today. That's one of the things I like about winter flying, is it generally you don't get the thermals that you do on the summer flying. And then of course my windshield is still bug free. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
There is. So what other plans do you have, Roger, for 2026? Any goals?
Just hopefully, go to all the air shows, meet new customers, do more flying. As you mentioned earlier about me, I haven't been up yet. I am doing less and less flying, it seems like, because customers, we got so many customers out there. They can do demo flights with, friends or family in the area instead of come out here. So I really recommend customers coming out and taking a demo flight with me, and it gets me out of the office too. But yeah, do more flying. Maybe go out some adventures a little bit more. I would like to go out west somewhere. It doesn't have to be far. Maybe even just to Kansas. Maybe put some goals and do stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always, time as we get older, time goes by quickly, and unless we make a point of doing something, sometimes a whole year goes by, and you say, well, I miss doing that. I see on my schedule here, I missed something coming up too. End of January, on January 30th, EA hosts EA Homebuilders Week. Well, that's the last week of January, and on the 30th, you and I are doing the Zenith webinar.
Right.
And so we'll be talking about updates from Zenith. A lot of it is just kind of going over who we are, what we do, but I always like to take the opportunity to talk about new things at Zenith, and I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts, but I will have some news to share at that point as well, probably to do with Mosaic, because as we know, with Mosaic Expanded Sport Pilot, we, a lot of things that can be done now that we can do more things. So make a point of trying to join us on January 30th. It's in the afternoon. It's a live webinar, and we'll be sharing information about Zenith and building and flying. And and I encourage you guys that haven't been, especially those of you that haven't flown in the Zenith, come out to the factory. The winter time is a good time to come out to the factory. We have a nice factory. We love doing tours of the factory in the side, and so even during the winter months, great time to see that. And then we go out flying, and Roger, like Roger says, he misses flying sometimes a little bit because he likes to get out of the office once in a while. So I encourage you to take advantage of that as well. Yeah, well, let's head back.
Okay.
We still have work to do today, don't we?
Oh yeah. That phone just never stops. Got customers' questions and ordering and.
Yeah. And one thing we like to show customers now with our newly expanded factory is our ability to manufacture in-house additional quick build kits. And the Zenith kits, by and large, they're easy enough for one individual to build without any outside help. Like we were mentioning, a lot of customers are able to build the entire airplane in a year to 2 year project. But if you want to get going a little bit quicker, especially from a motivational standpoint where you're starting with an assembled fuselage, the quick build kit is really a good way to get started on that.
It is, and you can customize, your building, whatever meets your goal, where 10, 15 years ago, you didn't have that opportunities a lot of places, and now you can. You get pre-wired harnesses or instrument panels done. Somebody can come out and do your engine. You
can
customize
swage cables.
Our new swage cables. So you could build it old school, scratch build it, build your own engine, and do your own steam gauges, but you can customize it to just be the project manager, let's say. So.
Right. Yeah. That is so true.
All right, we got gas undercarriage, mixture prop seat belts. Our simple little gums check. And we'll enter at 45. And pretty much I don't worry about the speed on downwind. All right, so what I like to do is beam the numbers. I'll bring back power and then pitch the nose up a little bit so I can bleed off the airspeed, and then get in the wide arc so I can deploy just a little bit of flaps, or flaperons. Oh, there we go. Lock it a little bit. We're in the flap zone, which is 75 miles or less. And now I'll start my descent, probably 400 to 500 feet a minute descent. Now we could trim it, but I like a little bit of stick pressure. That way, if you do have to do a go around, you're not the opposite on the trim, and it's not that heavy. It's not like a a certified 172 or 182 or something like that. Basically, always keep an eye out for traffic. And quickly glance if you got ADS-B, just check that, looks clear. We'll land with full flaps, and we'll probably deploy them once I know I can make the field.
we're in the Cruzer model, not the Stoll model, but you'll see, you know, we saw the takeoff quite short and our landing. Well, we'll see if you manage to stop before that first intersection or taxiway.
Let me turn on the runway lights. Might as well use our resources, right?
Absolutely. There they go.
Yeah, it's just cool. Yeah.
Always fun.
All right, make the field. Flaps go all the way down. Got a pretty good glide. Put down a little flaps and create a little lift there. And everybody wants a speed number. Probably, I'll probably be in the low 50s on approach. And we're 60. We're in the 50s getting up.
And you're doing a good job not making my ears pop too much. Because I know you can dump it in sometimes, and the airplane's very capable of doing that.
Yeah, we're 48, 49.
Oh yeah, nice.
Keep the nose down, get that center line. And then just kind of let it settle. The Cruzer, you can kind of let it settle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit of a show-off landing.
Oh,
no.
But
that was nicely done. Center line is good, and the speed is good, and then you've got several hundred feet to spare even to do that practice. And you know, here in Mexico, Missouri, we've got lots of runway, but it's always good, I think, to practice smaller areas. So that when you're flying in those backcountry fields and little airports, you know, a 1,200-foot runway is still more than adequate.
Right, exactly. And land short without even trying, as you saw there.
Exactly.
So I mean, it wouldn't be any problem going in a 800 to 1,000-foot grass strip in the Cruzer.
Right. And that's where,
less than that once you know the airplane.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where we've got good effective flaps. You don't need to use them to land the airplane, but once you get in the habit of using it full flap landings all the time with no power or minimal power, then it just becomes good practice.
Right.
Well, it was fun to go out. Thanks, Roger, for taking me out flying again, and good opportunity to share our plans. And we invite any of you and all of you to come out, visit the factory, come out to the workshops, join us in Texas or Arizona, and look forward to another successful year.